history of San Francisco French Bread Company is as rich in texture and variety as its breads. It dates back to 1849, when Isidore Boudin first opened the French bakery in San Francisco. The California gold rush was on, and San Francisco was booming. Sourdough became synonymous with the word prospector, and sourdough bakeries were soon opening all over the Bay Area. Parisian opened its doors in 1856, followed by the first East Bay bakery, Toscana. Colombo was next with its first Oakland bakery in 1896. These bakeries were built and operated by families, mostly immigrant families that became the proud foundation for the rich baking heritage that has been passed down for generation after generation. By mid-20th century, there were numerous sourdough bakeries competing in the Northern California market, and modern business pressures were building. As the baking industry moved through the handmade era to automation, equipment costs placed a heavy burden on bakery operations. Increasing employment administration, insurance costs, and labor union negotiations compounded the financial pressures. In 1968, the leading East Bay bakeries, Colombo and Toscana, merged. Meanwhile, Parisian Bakery had come under control of non-baker management, who discovered that the sourdough process was a complex proposition. Despite valiant efforts, Parisian began to suffer and was purchased by the Colombo Group in 1982. By this time, Boudin had established itself as the premier San Francisco sourdough, with its retail operation at Fisherman's Wharf and its bakery at 10th Avenue. Boudin has been owned since 1936 by Steve Giraudo Sr., who embodied the history, tradition, and knowledge of San Francisco sourdough French bread, and those who learn to bake from him are the finest hearthbread bakers in the world. He insisted on absolute dedication and attention to quality, and he got it. Boudin joined forces with Colombo, Toscana, and Parisian to form San Francisco French Bread Company in 1984. This new company was the culmination of many proud families that banded together to protect their heritage and their quality. It brought together forward thinkers. For instance, the Colombo management was the first to install a complete string line. They were joined by the old world quality bakers epitomized by Boudin. The company was an umbrella under which competitive spirit continued to thrive. Once established, San Francisco French Bread Company generated tremendous growth for all its brands. Boudin initiated an aggressive expansion program that created popular bakery cafes throughout the San Francisco Bay Area, Chicago, and San Diego. Colombo became the market leader in wholesale grocery distribution, and Parisian was revitalized in its San Francisco market. The individual bakeries had been approached through the years by national companies seeking to purchase the sourdough industry. San Francisco French Bread Company was approached in 1985 by Kraft Incorporated, but we would not sell. Kraft ultimately agreed to distribute Parisian nationally. This transaction clearly established the fact that San Francisco French Bread Company would control its own destiny. At the end of 1986, my brother and I brought the company to its current ownership position. Having invested our lives in the bakery from the time we could walk, it was only natural that we would seek a way of controlling the sourdough industry in the manner in which our father would expect. Joined by our dear friend and partner, Sharon Duvall, we put a buyout package together that included investment from our newfound friends from Belgium, who also understand the qualities and challenges of a family-owned and operated business. We took the helm of San Francisco French Bread Company on December 31st, 1986. We emerged in control of the sourdough industry. We also faced the challenge of taking the best of the old and adding the best of the new. The baking process is still the center of attention in the San Francisco French bread arena. We are still committed to the highest quality of bread and bakery products available. Each and every bakery proudly carries on the tradition of sourdough at its finest. The challenge that lies before us is to maintain a tradition of quality while taking professional steps to grow. We are doing that through our people. The diverse pool of talents represented by San Francisco French Bread Company is unequaled in the baking industry. An operations team that represents more than 500 years of baking experience. A direct sales force that is motivated by customer satisfaction. Dedicated administrative employees who provide our corporate foundation. An executive staff that develops tools for our organization and growth. And a Boudin retail team that translates insight and innovation into success. We are very proud of our tradition, our product, and our people.
A San Francisco-based baking company, finally, is in for lots of dough, the folding green kind of dough. The San Francisco French Bread Company is striking a deal with the giant Kraft Foods Company. Channel 7's Janet Zapala reports this looks like the start of something sour or big.
Yes, Parisian breads are about to hit the big time.
It's a dream come true, something that I think our fathers looked to doing and thought would never be possible.
After several months of negotiations, San Francisco-based Parisian Breads and Kraft Foods are teaming up, and together will distribute the famous sourdough to some 30,000 supermarkets across the country and in Canada.
We've done some shipping throughout the United States ourselves, but never had the marketing talent, so to speak, to be able to do this, or maybe the wherewithal to do it.
But never mind the past. What's about to happen means not only national recognition and lots more revenue, it also means that a 50-year family tradition will be carried on in the company of another already proven winner.
It's something that our parents strive to do and build up a business. It's something we've had the opportunity to carry on.
What makes the bread so special?
It all starts with our mother dough, or sponge as we call it, and in the handling of sourdough bread. It's a lot of love and tender care.
For the benefit of sourdough fans from all over, who wouldn't think of leaving San Francisco without it.
It has a unique taste about it, you know, and it's something that we can't get back east. I don't know what the processing method is, but We just don't get it back there. It tastes like this.
It makes great toast for breakfast.
Do you get that in Wisconsin?
No, I wish we did.
Exactly when the bread will go national with Kraft as a partner still has yet to be decided, but judging from growing sales just here in the Bay Area, it should be a good deal, not only for the maker, but for consumers as well, no matter how you slice it. In San Francisco, Janet Zapala, Channel 7 News.
Tonight he's going to dinner with Bigfoot.
Coming out of the Let's go. Why don't you go boogie boarding? Snakes, Pep.
inspires me when I walk into the bakery is to create the perfect loaf of bread. I can see people eating my bread. I can see people come up and say, I love your bread. I love Boudin. They tell me that all the time, you know. Thank you for making this wonderful bread. It's a wonderful crust, wonderful smell. When we get a perfect loaf of bread like this, it just makes me feel so proud.
And we've taken the authenticity and history that is Boudin in San Francisco and carried it into our restaurants throughout California. The Boudin sourdough is a cornerstone of everything that we do. It's those simple, honest ingredients: flour, salt, water, sourdough, and mother dough that's been with us since 1849.
Boudin family arrived in San Francisco from France sometime in 1848, 1849, and established the first Boudin bakery in what is now called North Beach, in a small tent. And they moved from that tent to a building on what is now called Grant Avenue, what was then called DuPont Avenue. And that's where they started baking French bread. They encountered a 49er, gold miner, if you will, was carrying a crock of starter, or mother dough as we refer to it. And it was a natural yeast. And they combined, the Boudin family combined that natural yeast with the art of making French bread, and they came up with a loaf of bread called San Francisco sourdough French bread.
But when you eat a piece of bread like this, when you cut it, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this.